gentlemen, welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and I've got some news today. Not quite sure if it's good. It might be bad, but it's about sci-fi novel Neuromancer. Got this from movieweb.com. Apple TV's Neuromancer, everything we know about the long-awaited sci-fi adaptation. My biggest concern is that Apple TV is doing it. I don't know if you've watched Foundation or if you've read Foundation, but Apple's version of Foundation is ass. There, I said it. Uh, it's about as accurate as, well, no, okay, that was rude. I was about to say it's about as accurate as Wheel of Time, but Wheel of Time is probably the worst adaptation ever made, hands down. No further questions. Do not pass go. Go directly to jail. Fuck you for ruining Wheel of Time. Uh, Amazon. Oh, okay. But Foundation's pretty bad too. The Foundation series is not something that should ever be adapted to television because there is no true development for the characters in a way of a traditional story sense because it's more the stories are more written to develop the um universe and the world than they are to develop the characters. Like the governments have more character growth than the individuals tend to have in the Foundation stories. It kind of actually in a lot of Asimov stories now that I think about it. He really was more about like the environment is the character kind of guy. But whatever. I'm here to talk about Neuromancer. Now, if you don't know anything about Neuromancer, I don't know if this is going to contain any spoilers, and I haven't read this article, but it is one of the most definitive and important sci-fi novels ever written. Mm, yeah, I would say the majority of modern sci-fi draws inspiration from what Neuromancer is, what they did, what they developed. They were really the pioneers. It pioneered the dystopian cybertech future kind of thing. But let's just jump right in and see what the article says. There is no denying it. Apple TV Plus is killing it in the sci-fi space, arguably more than any other streaming platform at the moment. Arguably? Well, anything is arguable, but what do you mean at the moment? I guess in the immediate, let's see, with such titles as Severance, Silo, Foundation, get out of here. Is Severance sci-fi? I don't have Apple TV, but I know about some of these things. For All Mankind, yeah. Shining Girls, Invasion, Strange Planet, Wandla, and Pluribus. Now, I have heard good things about Pluribus. I've heard nothing about Wandla, Shining Girls, or Invasion, and very mixed reviews about Strange Planet. For All Mankind, I've never even heard of it all. Like I've at least heard of the names Shining Girls and Invasion and Wandla, but For All Mankind, that's not even anywhere on my radar. I didn't even know there was a show called that. Uh, okay, but yeah, Pluribus, I've heard good things about. I haven't really heard any bad stuff about Pluribus yet. Maybe that's just in my circles, though, to name a few. Yet, on the horizon for the streaming platform is what is easily the most ambitious and anticipated project to date, William Gibson's Neuromancer. I will say it is the most ambitious. I will not say it is the most anticipated because I'll do a survey of the people I know, but I don't think many people who are actual fans of the Neuromancer story are going to be looking forward to an actual adaptation. They are if they are, they're looking forward to pick it apart for how inaccurate it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. You're gonna have people like me that are gonna sit there and go, "Whoa, boy, how are you gonna fuck this one up?" Right? Like Frank Herbert's Dune. Although out of all the renditions of Frank Herbert's Dune, the television series was the most accurate and most true to the story. So maybe I should hold reservations, which I will just because it's Neuromancer. Like I withheld I did as I did with Foundation until I watched it. I withheld my reservations. I went even though I saw from the trailer, I was like, okay, they've already screwed up almost every character. The same with Wheel of Time. I saw from the trailer, they almost screwed up every character right from the go. I still held reservations. I made it through the first episode of Foundation. I will say that. I did not make it through like 15 minutes of Wheel of Time. And I will stand by that being the worst adaptation ever. But let's see what this article has to say. Previously deemed unfilmable. Yes, I agree. Unfilmable. 100%. Do not adapt Neuromancer if you can avoid it. Due to the complex narrative structure, use of inner monologues, and abstract concepts laid out in the novel, it again, I got to pause. I'm going to probably pausing a lot in this video. So if you don't like me pausing and interjecting my opinion, this one's going to get on your nerves. What made Dune so hard to adapt is that about 30% of the dialogue in Dune in the novels is internal monologues of characters thinking and talking to themselves. And the original David Lynch movie tried to portray that with the voiceovers and the people like getting like they pause and look stern real quick and they do a voiceover. It just doesn't adapt well to film to have that kind of stuff unless there's some sort of non-distracting action happening on screen, which is difficult because action's kind of distracting sometimes. But yeah, the abstract concepts laid out in the novel. The work has nonetheless been highly sought after for an adaptation, given the original story is considered a landmark of the cyberpunk genre and highly influential with sci-fi. Yet the team behind bringing Neuromancer to the screen for the first time appears to be on the right track, based on everything we know so far about the upcoming Apple TV Plus original. Yeah, this was the I think the original cover, close up of book cover Neuromancer. Yeah, and it was like, whoa, what is this? No, was this the original? I think this is the first one I remember seeing as a kid because I was like, "Oh, that looks cool." It like just spoke to me. And yes, as a kid, I absolutely judge books by their cover. I hesitated on reading several books because of it. Many of them foolish, some of them not. For those unfamiliar with the novel on which the live action series will be based, Neuromancer follows case. Okay, so here's the spoilers for anyone that doesn't know, or light spoilers, I should say. An elite hacker on the outskirts of society who is drawn into the world of espionage, joined by Molly, a genetically enhanced street samurai. The two embark on a mission against a powerful corporate dynasty. This is, of course, only scratches the surface of what the book actually is, with the original book touching on philosophical questions about technology, identity, and humanity. All I told in a highly stylized, unique narrative style. Yeah, I would say the best rendition or adaptation or homage to Neuromancer is the original Shadowrun game, not the video game, the tabletop. If you ever played the original run of Shadowrun, it is very much almost every bit of inspiration is drawn from Neuromancer with a dash of fantasy, like high fantasy, just sprinkled in there. Like orcs, trolls, dragons, these things are real world constructs in the cyberpunk dystopian future of Shadowrun. Super cool game. Check it out. If you want to play any of the video games, I suggest the first one that came out on like Sega and Super Nintendo more than the one that came out on Xbox 360 because it's actually a better adaptation to top-down isometric action adventure slash shooter game. But back to the story. To bring the story to life, Neuromancer is being creatively led by the exceptional team with Graham Rowland, from Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, Dark Winds, and J.D. Dillard, Devotion of the Outsider, acting as co-producers and creators of the project. Additionally, Roland will act as showrunner while Dillard is set to direct the pilot episode, showing a very hands-on approach to bringing the work to life. Yet, perhaps most importantly, the two came to the project over a mutual love of the original work. In a press release from Apple, the duo had said the following. Since we became friends nearly 10 years ago, we've looked for something to team up on. So this collaboration makes a dream come true. Neuromancer has inspired so much of the science fiction that's come out after it, and we're looking forward to bringing television audiences into Gibson's definitive cyberpunk world. Yes, Neuromancer is so impactful that there are people out there who probably have written stories or done projects that drew inspiration from Neuromancer that have probably never even read it. That's how influential it was and is. And if you haven't read it, I highly suggest you go pick it up. All right, just go buy the book, blindly buy it, read it. Don't even worry about like whether or not you're going to like it because it's worth the read. Uh and if you like any kind of compelling story, you're gonna like Neuromancer. It's just it was revolutionary. The involvement of William Gibson, who serves as executive producer and has also helped with consultation on bringing Neuromancer to life, further cements the adaptation's aim of authenticity. I gotta stop you right there. Uh, have you seen the Eon Flux movie? Have you seen it? How accurate was it to the original anime? Because they had the creator on set making decisions. That doesn't mean shit in the world of Hollywood because what happens behind the scenes when the creator's not there is when the final project's made. Post production can change something entirely. It can change the feel, the emotion, the uh basically everything about a story can be changed in post production. So having someone on set doesn't really do anything. I just want to get that out there for those of you that ever wonder why sometimes your adaptations have the original creator in a hands-on position, but it still comes out crap, is because of studio interference and post-production and what happens behind the scenes. And that could very well happen here. Notably, Gibson has been involved in reviewing of drafts available for questions about the source material and offering suggestions. While Gibson's body of work has a few adaptations to compare to, the approach here seems geared towards fans of the original work rather than trying to redefine it for another medium. Now, if that's true, that's promising because that's like I said, you're going to absolutely draw original fans, but a lot of them are going to be cynics like me who want to go, how are you fucking it up? Like, how accurate is it really? When will it come to streaming? Apple TV Plus has not announced an official premiere date for Neuromancer. Yeah, probably like 2029. If they're just now telling us that they're working on it, that means that they probably haven't begun principal photography. If they're only mentioning drafts, which means they probably don't even have a finalized script. So they got to finish the script, get it approved, finalize it, then begin principal photography, right? And then creating a show is a lot of process. I used to be in the industry kind of behind the scenes in post production, but there's a lot of work with this kind of crap. And yeah, 2029 I feel is pretty optimistic on my stance. I'm thinking, they've already done some work and this year they're going to get ready. Maybe by the end of this year they start filming, early next year they start filming principal photography. Then they do some cuts and they have to obviously release some test footage to gauge how well audiences are going to react to what they've done and blah blah blah. Leak some set photos. Yeah, leak. Every time somebody I hear about a leak of set photos, just know that most leaks when it comes out of television and Hollywood are planned. There's never a real leak that they don't know is about to happen. I probably shouldn't be saying that, but I don't care. I'm not in the industry anymore, so fuck you, Hollywood. A lot is riding on Neuromancer. Its success could easily redefine the cyberpunk genre on television, if not set a new benchmark for literary sci-fi adaptations. Maybe. Sorry to pause again, but yeah, I felt well, not cyberpunk. I almost said cyberpunk 2077, which is nothing. It's its original story. Altered Carbon season one was pretty pretty close. I went back and read the book afterwards because I had never even um heard of it beforehand. I was surprised when it came out. I was like, "What is this? A sci-fi series I hadn't heard of?" But at the time, I was working like a 70-hour job, and I didn't want reading shit. So uh, it was just one of those things that I completely missed. It went right up out of my radar. Like wasn't even near my radar was over here. This shit was way off in Antarctica. But Altered Carbon season 1 redefined sci-fi for a while there. Like Netflix was the sci-fi powerhouse. Altered Carbon, Stranger Things, Black Mirror. They were just dropping bangers sci-fi show after banger sci-fi show. And then Altered Carbon season 2 happened and I don't know. I haven't read the second book. I'm told it's about as accurate as the first season, just a little bit less, but it felt like none of the actors wanted to be there. And maybe Neuromancer, if Neuromancer is as accurate as you can get it, which I could see a accurate animated depiction, and maybe they will go animated, but it sounds like they're trying to do live action, which that's gonna be the limitation really, because it's gonna be hard to build the world. It's gonna be hard to explain how the world works in real life without a shit ton of exposition. Like, so much exposition is gonna be needed for this story. But for now, fans will have to wait for more information to drop by getting a better idea of how the show's visual narrative style, along with the release date. Still, with everything we know to this point, the future looks bright for Neuromancer. Now, release date's not for a while off, guys. I'm telling you, slow your roll. Slow your roll. They have the main cast. Nice. Mark Strong. Uh, okay. So if Mark Strong's going to be in it, I have a little bit of hope just because that guy puts more effort into roles than he needs to. Like, he's just a great actor. Uh, it honestly, if you've seen the horrible Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, Mark Strong was the best character, and he's not supposed to be. You're supposed to be like, "I fucking hate this guy. Sinestro, you suck." But he was just a better character, better actor than everybody else in the fucking movie. With an astounding creative team behind the scenes, Neuromancer also boasts a strong cast. Notably, Callum Turner steps into the shoes of the protagonist, troubled hacker Case. Callum would make a big impression for his debut in 2014's Queen and Country as Bill Rohan, before going on to land notable roles such as Theseus Scamander in Fantastic Beasts and The Crimes of Grindelwald, and Henry Hannibal Grace in Emma. Brian Middleton, best known for her role in standout A24 film Sharper, turns deadly as the mercenary Molly. Eh, okay, all right. Uh, I wouldn't call any A24 film a standout film, by the way. Come on, man. That studio is kind of weak as fuck. Other central figures include Armitage, a mysterious figure at the heart of the central AI conspiracy, played by Mark Strong. Fucking yes! He's going to nail that role. Okay, I'm going to give it a chance. Just because um, I think Mark Strong will fucking nail the role of Armitage because knowing Mark Strong, he's probably reading Neuromancer for the third time right now just so he can get into the head of the character. The versatile Strong has amassed an impressive filmography from superhero films such as Shazam. Wait, he was in Shazam? I never watched Shazam because it looked dumb. Where he played Stefano D'Anna, the Fool, and Lord Henry Blackwood in Sherlock Holmes. Great movie. Additionally, Marie France Tessier, better known as Lady Three Jane, an influential figure within the affluent Tessier Ashpool family, is portrayed by Clemence Posey, best known for her role in Fleur Delacour and Harry Potter the franchise. It, her, is that what she's known for? She's in like two movies. She's got a total of like 15 minutes of screen time, right? I don't know, but oh, here's the official cast, which is confirmed: Case, Callum Turner, Molly, Brianna Middleton, Armitage, Mark Strong, Marie Frances Tessier, Clemens Posey, John Ashpool, Peter Sarsgaard. Okay. Linda Lee, Emma Laird, Hideo's Joseph Lee. That's actually that's actually a decent casting. Peter Rivera as Dane DeHaan. I don't know who Dane is. John Tessier Ashpool is Max Irons. Julius Dean, Andre DeShields. Also don't know who that is. And Dixie Flatline, Mark Minchacha, who I also don't know who that is. But is that it? That's the end of the article? Okay, well, there you go. So we have the core cast and the fact that they're at least on the drafts. So again, 2029 optimistic release date. That's my prediction right now. We're gonna have to wait for more news to come out before I can make like a more baseline prediction. And it might be sooner. I don't know. I haven't touched a post-production studio in a long, long time. So I imagine they are now using AI to help streamline the process because they are with every industry. Get over it, folks. AI is here until a politician gets framed for something using AI and then politicians decide to make it illegal. AI is here to stay, right? The only way it's not going to be a force that is used going forward is if something happens that makes politicians want to make it illegal. But right now, it's just a tool, like the burglar's kit or a lockpick. Um, but yeah, Neuromancer. I mean, maybe. Again, the cast looks pretty decent. There are several people like I haven't seen anything past the first Fantastic Beast movie, so I only know Newt Scamander. I never saw Theseus in it, so I don't know anything about his character, and I've never read any of the written things that have to do with Fantastic Beasts because I'm pretty sure it's just like a novella. I just didn't care. But I don't know if I like the casting of Brianna Middleton, but she's not a bad actress, so there you go. Mark Strong, probably the strongest person on the cast. I apologize, and I will see myself out after the video's over. I know where the exit's at. No need to escort me. Joseph Lee as Hideo, and Peter Sarsgaard. I don't see him doing a bad job. I don't know the rest of the people in these. Well, I know Clemens Posey. I just only know her as Flor Delacour, like they said. I don't think she's even in it. She's probably in other stuff because a lot of British and French actors, we don't see their work. I think she's French. Her name is very French. I don't know if she is though. But we'll see. I'm interested. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward because again, I am in that camp where I just don't know if this can be actually adapted the way it should be. I could see an animated version of it. Absolutely. You could do that. A long form animated television series to explain maybe 26 episodes. You could probably tell the Neuromancer story in its entirety the way it was meant to be told. I do have some big concerns about live action, especially coming from the studio that's making Foundation. Now, maybe I should look at it as a studio that's making Pluribus, but I haven't watched Pluribus yet. I should because I've heard some good things about it. But we'll see. We'll see. I am skeptical to say the least and interested to say the most. But yeah, that's it for this article and that's all I have for this video. This is your host Belmont signing out.